Elon Musk is a crook, I think, right? Tesla was an alright company. It was alright. Sold decent amount of cars. Its biggest sort of selling point was the fact it sort of changed the narrative around electric cars. Um, in the way that you could argue like Ford did for the internal combustion engine. Um, and Ford obviously went on to become, a, you know, a great company. Not the biggest over a huge period of time, but a mainstay, right? Um, Not without its own controversies as well. Henry was a bit of a nut, but nonetheless, they did very well, for sure. Whereas Tesla was around for a minute and gained an unfucking believable valuation off the back of really sort of mediocre sales compared to the huge worldwide brands. Well, Tesla is a worldwide brand, but it doesn't justify its valuation. It never has done. Now I think people have forgotten about that, and investors obviously love Elon so much because he's willing to lie, he's willing to exaggerate, he's willing to say whatever necessary to pump the stock price of Tesla, or was willing to. Now he doesn't seem to give a shit anymore. But the point being is he was a fantastic custodian for the company, um, because, or for the investors in the company, because of how far he was willing to go in order to increase the value of the company. But sort of now, the emperor throwing stones in glass houses here. But now the emperor essentially has no clothes, because we can see the company for what it is. Now the market seems to be rotating into value, seems to be looking, actually looking at fundamentals of companies once again. Starting to, not we're not quite there, but starting to actually look at the fundamentals of companies once again. Well, I thought so until today. We can see that the Tesla is a declining company. It's gone. It's past. Its time has finished now. It changed everybody's minds round to a certain point. It made electronic cars fashionable, and but now Teslas aren't fashionable anymore because, one, they're boring because they don't change, and even the new models or the new revised models look the fucking same. They don't do anything different to almost any other electric car out there, and now they've had 4 years of declining sales, and from what we know, there's nothing on the horizon for Tesla apart from robo taxis. Elon's got something like 60 or something in Dallas or whatever the case may be. So that's just a nonsense non-starter. Waymo ahead of them, and Tesla is just like, if I didn't know, if you said to me, look at the fundamentals of this company, this is like their total addressable market, and it mostly relates to two areas of innovation which they haven't cracked yet, and likely won't be able to turn into a massively profitable business for another 5 years at least. I would say, okay, fine. Obviously, it's a growth story. Um, what's the value of the company now? Oh, well, the value of the company now is however many trillions. Tesla is still valued. I haven't even looked at Tesla's overall valuation in a long time. Its market cap. Let's have a quick look at its market cap. There's no way this son of a bitch is worth more than $1 trillion. Tesla. Oof. Market cap. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. 1.51 trillion. For a company which has no new models. Its innovation, like I say, is based on things that are a minimum of 5 years away. And until that point, will be loss-making areas. And their core business is failing in what it's supposed to do. And the CEO is distracted by other things that are going to make him more money. Elon Musk, he must be a con man. Like I don't like it's. How can people not see what's going on here? Like, what's it going to take? It's going to take a massive earnings miss in Q2 for people to understand, which I think that could be entirely plausible. A massive earnings miss at some point soon, you know. Although I don't know when the sale of XAI went through, whether that was baked into Q1. Looked like quite a big earnings beat, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was baked into Q1. I haven't seen the estimates. I don't really pay much attention to Tesla because it's a fucking dog shit company. But anyway, so we're saying that now, right? So that's my point of view on Tesla, and you probably won't be surprised to learn that my viewpoint on SpaceX, which today floated, congratulations, and is currently sitting at a price of 164. A little bit of an intraday sell-off, no problem. I mean, arguably it started at, what's that there? 150, opened at 150, topped at 176, that's $26. And it's back down another $13 or so. So it's like sort of like a 50% drop for the day. But anyway, I'm not going to just hate for no reason. Point being is, SpaceX is a loss-making company. Let's just make this clear. Going back to the last video I made about why I think the AI trade will eventually collapse, because the debt won't be able to justify the outcome. SpaceX is clearly a version of that, like absolutely clearly. And the concept to me of floating a company that loses billions every quarter is producing a substandard AI model that nobody uses, I suppose, unless they're arguing with people on Twitter or something like that, and they need Grok to back them up or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't have Twitter, but anyway, this is what I understand it's used for. Like, whoever goes to, where is it grok.com, and says, "Oh, I'm gonna ask for a recipe for grok.com." No one does that. Literally, no one does that. You know, and I'm sure there are lots of little offshoots of XAI that Musk believes he can make money from, and probably is having some level of revenue. But I just can't see people choosing him or, SpaceX over all of the other fantastic AI options that are out there. Like, it's just not realistic. It's not feasible that that's going to happen. And even if it happens to an extent, like a limited extent, like, does that justify a valuation of? Well, it hasn't given a market cap. I read this morning that the market cap opened at something like 1.75 trillion. Does that justify? I don't understand how a company that makes no profit can have a market cap of 1.75 million. I don't understand a company makes no profit. Like that really, in terms of like its potential for growth. Like, unless he absolutely pulls it out of the fire when it comes to AI, they don't. The rocket ships launches don't make any money. The AI business hemorrhages money. The only profitable part is obviously is the Starlink, and obviously I'm guessing Musk sees his total addressable market as every single person with an internet connection in the world. So he's obviously like 9 billion customers. But let's be real, it's just we're not gonna do that. Like, we're just not gonna do that. Like, we're just not. Like, no, I'm never ever. I never say never. Maybe if I decide I'm gonna go get a Winnebago and live off grid, or a caravan or something, Starlink, I'll get it then. Maybe not even. I'll just get a dongle, because I don't really do anything special enough that I need super high speed internet. Jesus Christ, why is this crashing? Anyway, down to 160 now. Anyway, so yeah, so the reality is most people are not going to have a need for Starlink at any point. I mean, it's become sort of like the de facto insurgent's way of connecting to the internet during a war in which making it to the front line isn't easy anymore because of drones. Like, I suppose that element of it's pretty cool, but I'm not sure the militaries didn't have something like that already that they could use in lieu of Starlink. Anyway, point being is, I don't want to say Elon Musk is a con man, but if you look at what a con man is, it's somebody that essentially obtains wealth through not being completely honest about something they're selling or what they're willing to give in order to get something from you.